A good language teacher is someone who prioritizes on getting the students to speak. This is the hardest thing, just getting students to have confidence in themselves, to open their mouths and express themselves using what they've got, no matter what mistakes they make and what gaps in the vocabulary they have. A bad language teacher is a teacher who's always showing the student how much they don't know. So no matter how much progress they're making, they always feel like there's more to go.
A good language teacher is very, very hard to find. I think that it comes down to a couple of things. The first thing is that the teacher has to be able to encourage the student to do things that they otherwise wouldn't. Because most students don't become proficient in a language because they don't know the kind of things they need to do to get there, which are, for example, a lot of speaking, a lot of time listening, maybe some translation. These things don't come naturally to students. So the job of a great teacher is to push the student beyond what they would naturally do.
Somebody who's willing to listen, willing to be responsive and reactive to the student's needs, someone who listens to what the student actually wants and the goals of the student from the language learning, and can adapt and facilitate those needs.
Well, a good teacher is the one that encourages the student to speak. A good teacher always has a lot of questions to ask. The teacher doesn't get the student to lose the flow, and I think it's also very important not to correct the student too much, not to put too much pressure on the student.
So what I've found to be effective from a teacher are things like being able to break down the language into simpler parts. I think that's and focus on allowing the learner to make mistakes and then finding a feedback system in which they can correct themselves rather than being corrected directly, because that can break up the rhythm a lot. I think that's a mistake a lot of teachers make. And also the kind of more traditional style of teaching me grammar and being very pedantic isn't, for me, hasn't been an effective way. Normally I wouldn't stick with such a teacher.